Most self-improvement advice does not work after narcissistic abuse. And it's not because you are lazy. It's not because you are weak. And it's not because you don't want it bad enough. It's because after a toxic relationship with a narcissistic woman, your brain and body are stuck in survival mode. That changes everything. So if you have been going to the gym, watching motivational videos on YouTube, reading self-help books, taking cold showers, trying to man up, trying to stay disciplined, but you still feel exhausted, anxious, angry, numb, or stuck, this episode is going to explain why. Because most self-improvement advice was not made for men recovering from psychological abuse. And today, we are going to talk about what actually works. Welcome to the Narc Free Man Podcast. Welcome back to the Narc Free Man Podcast. Here's what most people don't understand about narcissistic abuse. It changes you mentally, emotionally, physically. When you spend years walking on eggshells, getting criticized, getting blamed for everything, being gaslit, being emotionally manipulated, your nervous system adapts to survive the chaos. Your brain starts scanning the room for danger all the time. You become hyper alert. You overthink every text, every conversation, every shift in tone. And eventually you stop feeling safe, even when the toxic relationship ends. That's why so many men leave toxic relationships and still feel miserable months later, because leaving her does not automatically calm your nervous system. Your body still thinks danger is coming. And most self-improvement advice completely ignores that reality. Now listen carefully. I am not saying the gym is bad. I'm not saying discipline is bad. I'm not saying journaling or routines are bad. Those things can help, and I do those things myself, but they are not the foundation. And this is where a lot of men get frustrated, because they think, I'm doing all the right things here, so why do I still feel broken? Here's why. You are trying to build confidence on top of emotional exhaustion. That doesn't work. Brother, you cannot discipline your way out of unresolved trauma. You can't hate yourself into healing. And that's what many men try to do after narcissistic abuse. They attack themselves, work harder, stop being emotional, be stronger, get over it. Meanwhile, their nervous system is screaming for safety. Let's talk about what really happens to men in these toxic relationships. At first, you slowly stop speaking up. Then you stop setting boundaries. Then you stop trusting yourself. Then eventually you stop recognizing yourself. Your whole personality changes. You become quieter, more anxious, more emotionally reactive, more drained, more disconnected. And the scary part is most men don't even realize it's happening while they are in the relationship, because narcissistic abuse happens slowly. It's death by 1,000 cuts. One insult here, one guilt trip there, one argument, one manipulation tactic, one emotional punishment, over and over and over again, until your confidence collapses. And then when you finally leave her, you expect yourself to bounce back immediately. But brother, your mind and body have been through psychological warfare. Healing takes time. Now let's talk about something huge: trauma bonds. Because this confuses a lot of men. You know she was toxic. You know she hurt you. You know she manipulated you. You know she was a narcissist. So why do you still miss her? Why do you still think about her? Why do you still want closure? Because trauma bonds are not logical. They are chemical. A narcissistic relationship trains your brain to chase relief from the same person causing the pain. That's why the relationship feels addictive. One minute she love bombs you. Next minute she tears you down. Then suddenly she acts loving again. Your nervous system becomes addicted to the emotional highs and lows. That's why peace feels boring after narcissistic abuse. Chaos became normal, and many men mistake that emotional addiction for love. It's not love, it's conditioning. Now, another mistake men make after leaving toxic relationships is they try to become a completely different person overnight. New routines, new goals, new business, new body, new mindset. And look, growth is good, but when you move too fast after trauma, you usually crash because deep down you are still emotionally unstable. So what happens? You start strong. You feel motivated for a week, maybe 2 weeks. Then the anxiety comes back. The exhaustion comes back. The emotional numbness comes back. And then you shame yourself for failing. Brother, you didn't fail. You skipped the healing stage. And remember what Zig Ziglar said: failure is an event, not a person. So let's talk about what really helps men heal. Number one, stabilize your nervous system. This comes first. Sleep matters. Sunlight matters. Walking matters. Quiet matters. Peace all matters. Your body needs safety before it can grow. Number two is reduce chaos. Stop arguing with toxic people. Stop checking her social media. Stop chasing closure from someone committed to misunderstanding you. Every toxic interaction resets the trauma cycle. Number three is to rebuild your identity slowly. Most men lose themselves in narcissistic relationships. So ask yourself, what do I actually enjoy? Who was I before survival mode? What kind of life do I want to build now? You rebuild identity through small daily actions, not giant dramatic changes. Number four is to build strong male friendships. Brother, healing in isolation is hard. You need good men around you, men who understand, men who challenge you, men who tell you the truth, men who want better for you. Isolation keeps men trapped. Community helps men heal. Here's the biggest mindset shift every man recovering from narcissistic abuse needs to understand. Healing is not about becoming colder. It's about becoming stronger emotionally. There's a difference. A lot of men leave toxic relationships and become bitter. They stop trusting people. They stop opening up. They stop feeling. That's not healing, that's self-protection. Real healing is learning how to protect your peace out losing your heart. That's the goal. Not becoming emotionless, becoming emotionally disciplined. So here's what I want you to start doing this week. Simple steps. Step number one is stop trying to fix your entire life overnight. Focus on stability first. Step two is remove one major source of chaos from your life. It could be one toxic habit, one toxic person, one toxic cycle or vice. Step number three is start reconnecting with yourself by listening to good music, by going to the gym, by spending time out in nature, through prayer, through reading, and through silence. Anything that helps you feel grounded again. And step four is to stop speaking to yourself like an enemy. Many men leave narcissistic women, but continue abusing themselves mentally afterward. That voice in your head matters. So watch your self-talk. Brother, if you are struggling after narcissistic abuse, you are not crazy. Your brain and body adapted to survive emotional chaos. And recovery does not happen through shame. It happens through healing. That's what the Narc Free Man movement is about. Helping men rebuild after toxic relationships. Helping fathers recover after high conflict divorce. Helping men take their power back emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Look, if this episode helped you, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and Apple. And if you want a deeper understanding of toxic relationships, trauma bonds, emotional abuse, and narcissistic abuse recovery, check out my book, The Narcissistic Wife. It's available on Amazon, or it's on audiobook as well. And I have a new book coming out called Co-Parenting with Her. So if you survived the chaos, now it's time to rebuild your life if you share kids with your toxic, narcissistic ex-wife. So stay tuned for more details about that. Until next time, stay strong, stay steady, and stay narc-free.